Hi, my name is Oliver Gordon. I'm from a member of Maranga Action Group, and I'm here today to interview Golriz Ghahraman. Golriz, thank you for your time.
Thank you for your time.
As a member of Parliament who has a disability, what have you been doing to advocate rights for people like you and me?
Yeah, well, the most recent thing has been our COVID-19 response, where it became really important for all of our communities to think about us, those of us with chronic illness or disability, and to protect us. So it was really important for me to build our perspectives into the COVID response and make sure that there were clear guidelines for our carers, for our employers, for our whole communities to kind of protect us against the virus. And it was really rewarding to see the government kind of take up our perspectives.
The Maranga Action Group would like equal representation of people living with a disability in the workforce. Do you support this, and what are your plans to help people like me get a fair pay job?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, some of that has to do with changing things like the Human Rights Act that allows discrimination against people with disabilities in their pay. And a lot of it is actually about access and having, buildings, having institutions, having our work time all take account of our needs, our different needs, and our disabilities. So accessibility of government buildings, for example, is something that I'm advocating for, and that will have to expand out to commercial buildings anywhere that we might be employed in, as well as obviously our homes and state houses, and that's a different piece of work. But I think accessibility in terms of physically being able to go to work is quite a big one.
People who live with intellectual disabilities are not well represented in Parliament. What can we do to ensure our voices are heard?
Yeah, so a previous Green MP, Mojo Mathers, who was the first person who was with a disability and whose was hearing impairment, who was in the House last term, introduced a bill that then my colleague Chloe Swarbrick shepherded through and we've passed, which is the Electoral Accessibility Bill, and now the Act, which is about funding for people with different kinds of disabilities as they put themselves forward as candidates and run and come up into Parliament. And we think that's really important because we need that extra support that's been missing as a systemically marginalised group, and we think that will really help.
That's very good information. For you, with someone like with a disability, do you find it easy to have a job?
Yeah, I was lucky in that I had been elected before I started to have symptoms of MS, although it was about a month after. But it is difficult. I find that, for example, the sitting hours really difficult sometimes with fatigue because the House rises at 10 p.m. But I've had the Speaker of the House has been really flexible with me and given me some compassionate leave nights to work from home, for example. It's difficult, I think, for people with less visible disabilities sometimes to ask for help. And also that there's that fear that when we reveal our disabilities that we'll be taken less seriously as someone in the workplace, and so we get written off. So I realised that as I talked more and more to my MS community, and that's why I decided to go public with it, to kind of be one story, one example of someone who is in the workplace and can do it with some help.
Thank you for your time.
Yeah, thank you for your great questions.
Now I'm going to hand over to my friend Matt Henderson, who would like to ask some questions.
Great, thank you.
Hi, I'm Matthew and I'm interviewing about MS. I want to be an advocate for people living with MS, but I don't have a damn platform like you. How can I make a difference?
I think that we all can make a difference by listening to each other, asking questions, and then then supporting the person with what they say they need.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I've found the biggest challenge
Yeah.
for people with MS is that most people around them don't know much about MS and how to support them.
Yeah, because we didn't know about it. My parents and I did not know about it before I got diagnosed. We didn't even know what it was.
Yeah, exactly. So we face those kind of barriers, but I think listening and helping if the person asks you to is the best thing.
Yeah. How have being diagnosed with MS changed your life?
It took a long time for me to get my head around going to the doctor all the time, and so it's changed my life in that I have, hospital visits regularly, blood tests. I'm more vulnerable to all other types of infections.
Yeah, same with me. I've got to go to the hospital every 6 weeks.
Yeah, so we get injections a lot more, we get blood tests a lot more, we get scans. But it's also, the fatigue and being in a demanding job is a bit hard.
Yeah, and because I got to go, I did Peru for mine. I had to go for funding to get medication every year, and I had to prove over and over again that I have MS. Will you help make it easier to access cheap medication for people living with MS?
Yeah, I was surprised about that as well, actually, that every year I still have to kind of go through the process. One of our biggest worries as the Green Party is that people like us with a disability or a chronic illness actually have to go through that same but a much worse, much more degrading process when they apply for benefits.
Yes.
So we're trying to get that changed so that people who need financial support, who need money, don't have to then go through a really awful, stressful process as well.
Yeah. That would be good if we can get it changed.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it would make it a lot less stressful.
Alright, so how do you guys reckon the interview went? Yeah? Superb, so I'll let that bus pass. Was it nice meeting her? Was she nice to you?
Yeah.
That's good. Tessa, did you enjoy the interview? Yeah, do you think it was worthwhile coming down here? Oh, cool. How about you, Matt?
Fantastic.
Yeah, what was your favourite thing?
Meeting her.
Yeah. You had some good questions too.
Yeah.
Great stuff. Alright guys, time for the pub.